charge of Florida's vote count and co-chair of Bush's presidential campaign.
Had she really been unbiased, wouldn't the appropriate actions for her to be to say, let's really get to the bottom of this election and let's make sure every vote is counted?
Lois Frankel represents Palm Beach in the state legislature where she leads the Democratic opposition.
She wanted George Bush to win, and so she interpreted every rule, every law in a way to help George Bush.
We're driving down to Miami to witness an American ritual. In Britain, you count the votes, then announce the winner. In Florida, they declare the winner first, and here we are, still counting the votes.
She's showing the ballot in front of the light. They can see the light through where the chads have been punched through. Then she holds it in front because sometimes you can see things in different light. Right. They have a whole column for each ballot.
Normally, I assume machine read, right?
Right, right.
I mean, for the purpose. They are carefully going through the 179,855 uncounted ballots that Harris did not want tallied. They'll know the winner next month. Sources tell Newsnight Gore's ahead by 20,000 votes. The Biltmore, grandest hotel in Miami. Democrats are upstairs eating chicken with their richest friends, charging $5,000 a plate. Let's see if we can get in. Not far away from the millionaires on the balcony, a voter had taken hostages at gunpoint, protesting against the election fraud. But here, it's back to champagne politics as usual. One Democrat, big shot at the soiree, whispered they would have done the same as Katherine Harris if they had the chance. But another, party chairman Bob Poe, remains bitter about this.
Jeb Bush, Katherine Harris, Clay Roberts did absolutely everything that they could to stop every legitimate count of the vote. And that's what did us in.
All fingers point to the Jeb Bush crew in Tallahassee. Investigators want to break through the iron shutters.
I have to say that thus far we've been disappointed by the explanations, or perhaps I should say the lack of explanation provided by the state officials. When we spoke with the governor, with the Secretary of State, and even with the director of the Bureau of Elections underneath the Secretary of State, they really were pointing fingers at everybody else, saying, look, it wasn't our responsibility. We were in charge, which was a very disheartening, disquieting thing for us to hear as commissioners. Who should be held accountable for what clearly was a system that broke down.
State officials point the finger at the counties and say it's their responsibility to check if the names on the list are real felons before disqualifying them. Clayton Roberts says his job is just to pass on the list. Roberts now admits he didn't bother to check with DBT if innocent people were on it.
Please turn off that camera.
Off camera, he said, we did not call and say, did you check the list again? The whole tenor of this is like, okay, you screwed up. You didn't check with DBT. And if you want to hang this on me, that's fine. It's certainly fine for George W. Bush. Even if investigators conclude that Jeb Bush and the Republicans conspired to steal this election, the man in that house for the next 4 years will be George W. Bush.
Greg Pallas reporting. And we did ask Katherine Harris, Florida's Secretary of State, for an interview to discuss all the issues raised in that film. Sadly, we didn't get any response.